you see Mad Scientist? As you can probably tell, Melbourne's back into lockdown, so we thought we might take this opportunity to take a look at a new product from Poly. The Poly P15. Right, so like I said before, everybody's here at home at the moment, so you'll have to excuse any background noise. But Poly have sent me out a P15 to have a look at, so let's get into it. Now, for those that have been around my channel before, you may have seen I use a Poly Studio as my daily driver. It is massive and huge and sits on top of my monitors. They don't really, aren't really designed to do it. So let's break in. Right. Inside we get another box. Okay. We get the actual box for the product. It's considerably smaller than the box they shipped it to me in. So let's have a look inside. Okay. Inside we get the usual paperwork, including a quick start guide, warranty declaration, and I believe that's a quick user manual. The unit itself, which is actually quite small, it's nice. We also get some packaging, nice recyclable packaging, nice to see. And also we get a plug pack with the unit, a USB-C to USB-C cable, and a monitor mount. So you can see that the unit takes a standard 1/4 inch tripod thread, so we can mount it on a tripod, such as what you're on right now. And let's take a quick squeeze at the unit itself. So on the front we have the dual speakers, a nice active lens cover, so you can see that lens is shut, so there's no concerns about privacy. Turn and it opens. Installation of the device is quite simple. You just grab the monitor mount, wrap it around the back of your monitor, close it up as appropriate. You can then adjust forward or back and screw that into the unit itself. On the unit itself, we have 2 USB-A ports, so you can plug your headset or wireless dongle in there, for example. The USB-C, which is for connecting to your PC with the color matched, I suppose you'd call it, USB-C lead, and connection to 12-volt power. You could also use a tripod mount if you wanted to go down that path as well. So if you wanted to hang it on the wall or something like that. All right, now let's get into installation. It's fairly simple. Take my old camera off. Unplug its power. I should be very clear, this is not designed to be mounted on top of a monitor. I just was doing that because I'm crazy. Then we attach the mount to the studio itself. It's got a nice little thumb screw, so you can do that. And we plug the power and the USB in. It's nice that they're off to one side. Attach that to the top of our monitor and bend the little holdy device back so that it sits flush. You do have to adjust the counterbalance a bit. Done. So that was pretty simple to install. Just plug in a USB and power, and it came up. Automatic framing and everything really easy. So dead simple to send to your users, nothing they need to do. Now let's check out how it sounds and what happens if we install the Polycom software. The Poly Studio zoomed in to what I would call an acceptable level. Oak is strong, but also gives shade. Cats and dogs each hate the other. The pipe began to rust while new. Another brand's 4K camera. Oak is strong, but also gives shade. Cats and dogs each hate the other. The pipe began to rust while new. So editing James from the future here, you might notice there's a bit of a stark contrast between the two studio cameras and that other USB camera. And that's because these cameras are automatically framing me and can track me around the room. So in both these cases, both the Studio and the P15 are zoomed in to about 2, maybe 3x, whereas that other solution was only capable of holding me there. If I moved at all, I was completely out of frame. So you might notice I'm wearing different clothes in this shot, and that's unfortunately due to the fact that when I first recorded these videos, they were passing through my dock, and it was dropping the camera down from 4K to 1080p. So here is the P15 with automatic tracking on, as you can see, with narrow, and the polyacoustic fence set to narrow. So my kids are talking in the background, you probably can't hear them, you'll hear them in the next shot. But oak is strong, but also gives shade. Cats and dogs each hate the other. The pipe began to rust while new. So this is the Poly Studio, fully zoomed out, and with noise block turned off. Oak is strong, but also gives shade. Cats and dogs each hate the other. The pipe began to rust while new. Okay, with all of that done, let's check out the Poly software. Now I haven't updated this is still installed from my old Poly camera, and I can see there is an update available. You can also see my headphones and the new camera. It knows about my old camera, and it's telling me it's not connected, but that's nice. So if we go into the new camera, we can see its settings. Now out of the box, we did notice that it was automatically grouping me, and we can see that tracking mode is group mode. We can limit the zoom, which is nice. Panning, cutting. We can change how fast it'll move, how we want it to frame us. Let's enable the preview. And so we can see the feed from the camera. What's our on-screen display do? Yeah, that's a debugging thing. We don't want that. So we can limit the amount of zoom. Does that affect us? No, we're not zoomed in. Oh, maybe. So we were zoomed in considerably. We can change how tightly it frames us. So let's go tight. And you can see that gets quite aggressive. These would be quite good for using together mode, but if you had another person or you were doing a presentation, you'd probably want to go medium or wide. Check how fast it pans. You can see each time we change a setting, it has to restore back to the original place before going in. We can set some favorites as well. Sandbox. I guess we can play. And we can... Okay, so we can enable the polyacoustic fencing, which is really nice. It uses the directional microphones on the device to try and cut out background noise. So if I was to set that to narrow, that would only pick up my voice. It wouldn't pick up things outside the room, but it'd have difficulty if I walked around the room, so I'd have to adjust that. Can change our audio EQ. We can reset the device. And the support tab gives us information on the device itself. So let's update the firmware and see how easy that is. Let's click update. Ooh, it failed. Okay, let's try again. Okay, the LED has changed now to a blinking yellowy orange, so it's obviously doing something. And we're updating. And we're good. So it's a week later, and what do I think? Well, as you can probably tell, my old Poly studio is up there, and it's become a bit of an ornament. The only thing I really miss from it is the remote, ironically. But the auto framing on it works really well, as so does the noise block. So I don't need a massive appliance like this if it's just on top of, if it's just for me, it's not a meeting room. The framing works really well, the zoom works really well, and if I've got multiple people or I'm trying to present, it works well in that regard as well. So can I recommend it then? Yeah, of course. If you're looking at doing presentations or multiple people in front of one machine, or potentially walking around, or you like moving like I do with my hands a bit, definitely. If you just want a camera that's just going to have your face and nothing else and frame just this little bit, there are other options that are cheaper and deliver higher image quality. However, for the all-around package with microphone with speakers, you won't find anything else that does that. And that automatic pan tilt zoom, really can't go wrong with this. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you next time. So that was pretty simple. What's she doing? Right? Really good?
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. G'day and welcome back to UC Mad Scientist.